Real Madrid, the most successful football club in history, is facing one of the most turbulent periods in its recent time. After a season that started with high expectations and dreams of dominance, chaos, conflict, and controversy have taken over at the Bernabéu. Fans are questioning everything from managerial decisions and player attitudes to the club's identity and leadership. Has Real Madrid lost its way? Is the problem the manager, the players, the board, or something deeper within the club culture itself? In the span of less than 7 months, Madrid went from appointing a highly esteemed coach to mutually parting ways with him, replacing him with an inexperienced boss, and then suffering a humiliating defeat, even losing to a second division side in the Copa del Rey just days after a defeat in the Supercopa against their arch rivals, Barcelona. This isn't just about dropping points or losing in a tournament final. It's about authority in the dressing room, player power, and club culture being openly questioned. Today, we break down what led Real Madrid to this point, from Ancelotti's exit to Xabi Alonso's turbulent tenure to the rise of Arbeloa and that shocking cup exit. Just over a year ago, Real Madrid parted ways with Carlo Ancelotti, the manager who had brought trophies but decided to step down after a trophyless season and went to manage Brazil's national team. In May 2025, Real Madrid appointed Xabi Alonso on a 3-year contract, relying on his tactical brilliance and success at Bayer Leverkusen, where he won the Bundesliga, German Cup, and nearly completed a historic unbeaten treble, finishing runner-up in the UEFA Europa League. Alonso's arrival was meant to signal a new, modernized Real Madrid, one driven by structure, discipline, and tactical precision. He inherited a squad full of world-class talent: Vinicius Jr., Jude Bellingham, Kylian Mbappé, and a mix of seasoned stars and rising talents. Expectations were sky high. At first, there were positive signs. Madrid started the La Liga season strongly, going several games unbeaten, and at times looking like genuine title contenders. There were glimpses of a more coordinated pressing style, and fans hoped that this blend of structure plus star power could bring back the glory years. But as the season progressed, cracks began to show. Some senior players reportedly found Alonso's methods demanding discipline. Early training sessions, tactical video work, and rigorous schedules didn't sit well with some players. Reports suggested that the dressing room began to resist his authority rather than rally behind his vision. The tension didn't stay behind closed doors for long. What was once optimism began to turn into frustration, both on the pitch and off it. Real Madrid was no longer just dropping points, it was dropping belief. If you like our content, hit the like button and subscribe. As the season goes on, Real Madrid's performances dip at crucial moments. Losses to Atletico Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain, Liverpool, Manchester City, and ultimately Barcelona in the Spanish Super Cup final highlighted a side that looked inconsistent under pressure. Beyond the results, it was the mood inside the club that became the biggest story. Sources close to the squad claimed that some senior figures were unhappy with Alonso's stringent approach, particularly his methods of management. Some big games were lost, and this frustration began to surface in the atmosphere around training and preparation, with reports suggesting that parts of the dressing room were not fully aligned with the coach's vision. The situation reached a boiling point during a high-profile match when Vinicius Jr. reacted angrily to being substituted, storming off the pitch in front of cameras, a moment that symbolized the growing divide between the manager and his stars. Talk began circulating that Alonso was losing control of the dressing room, and if results didn't improve, a managerial change could be imminent. Even Jude Bellingham, while dismissing reports of discontent and affirming the players' support for Alonso, acknowledged that decisions about a coach's future ultimately lie with the club's hierarchy. Then came the final blow. After a 3-2 defeat to Barcelona in the Spanish Super Cup, Real Madrid and Alonso agreed to mutually part ways, ending his tenure after just over 6 months. The decision shocked much of the football world. Alonso was a club legend, a modern tactical mind, and yet couldn't steer the squad through internal and external pressure. Social media erupted with mixed reactions from fans and pundits alike. Many blamed the players, others the board, and some felt this was just another chapter of Real Madrid's managerial carousel. His period was short. He managed 34 matches total, won 24 matches, 4 draws, and 6 losses. Real Madrid's La Liga position is second, 4 points behind Barcelona, and seventh in the UCL. Almost immediately after Alonso's departure, Real Madrid announced Álvaro Arbeloa, a former player and Castilla coach, as the new head coach. Arbeloa hasn't managed a senior team before. His experience came mainly from Real Madrid's youth sides, including their Castilla team. This raised eyebrows among fans and pundits. Was this a bold internal promotion or a desperate move by a board seeking someone who would keep the dressing room calm? Unfortunately for Arbeloa, the start of his tenure mirrored the chaos that preceded it. Just 2 days after being named manager, Madrid suffered a shocking 3-2 defeat to second-tier Albacete in the Copa del Rey, getting knocked out by a second-division relegation battling opponent. The loss compounded a season already filled with highs and lows and raised serious questions about the team's mentality, tactical coherence, and leadership. Fans and commentators were quick to point out that this wasn't simply a managerial issue. The problem runs deeper. A squad comfortable with star power but less receptive to strict tactical control, and a club culture where player influence can outweigh managerial authority. Former professionals and pundits have since talked openly about the erosion of authority in modern football, with Real Madrid now serving as a prime example of where that can lead. Some claim that managers today must navigate not just tactics and results, but player power, board politics, and public perception, a challenge even the most legendary figures might find daunting. Alongside this, outlets have noted that Alonso and others expressed frustration with the influence of players and their entourages in the club's culture and decision-making, with some reports quoting sentiments along the lines of a coach struggling to assert authority amid strong player power. There were reports that Real Madrid wanted to reintegrate fitness coach Antonio Pintus into the first-team setup, but Xabi Alonso was reluctant to change his own staff. There have also been claims in some online reports that Alonso was concerned about aspects of player fitness and habits, though such details come from unofficial social media postings rather than established news sources. So what's really happening at Real Madrid? The story isn't just about a managerial change or a few bad results. It's about club culture, authority, player power, and leadership in modern football. Real Madrid, a club built on winning and discipline, now finds itself wrestling with internal dynamics that threaten its identity. Are the players too influential? Does the board lack conviction? Or is this just a temporary stumble for one of the world's biggest clubs? What do you think? Who's really to blame? The manager, the players, or the club hierarchy? Comment down below and see you on the next one.